So as I've been saying, when we designed i9 to be about the site, and that isn't limited only to the experience within that pinned sites mode. So this is the default Internet Explorer UI, or just the normal experience with Internet Explorer 9. And the entire frame is designed to give you only the functionality that you need to enhance the site. Our mindset here is that the browser rests quietly in the background while your site shines. So here I am on Amazon. I'm doing a task that we probably all do pretty frequently, and I'm doing some comparison shopping. And I have them open in two tabs, and what I want to do is tear that tab out of the window, and I want to compare two tabs side by side. Other browsers will take their approach of just adding more and more code to the browser. They're just going to duplicate operating system features because they're writing to a lowest common denominator across many operating systems. In i9, we seamlessly integrate with the OS. So that arrow snap feature I showed you earlier, I can tear off the tab and snap it right to the side. Do the same with this one. And now I've got my great side-by-side comparison. If this isn't a great time for me to buy this, I can pin Amazon. Pinning a site is that easy. You drag the tab to the taskbar, and if I have some network connectivity, you'll see the Amazon website. Let's do this. This is how easy to get back to that website using a pinned site. And again, of course, you'll notice the coloring and the icon are those of the site and not those of the browser. Besides making the web more beautiful, easier to use, we also make it much better to stay in control of your privacy and in control of your security. So i9's one box is a single place for you to enter searches as well as the addresses of the sites you want to go to. So I'll type a search, and you can see here I get search suggestions. But I've turned this on. I've chosen to turn this on. And I can just as easily turn it off. It's really up to you whether or not your keystrokes, whether or not every URL you ever go to is sent to your search engine of choice. Next one is about security. With IE8, we introduced the Smart Screen filter. And this Smart Screen filter has a list of known malicious sites. And if you're trying to go to one of those sites, we block you. We say, hey, this is known to be bad. You shouldn't go there. Thank you. This is bad. We really don't want you to go there. In i9, and to date, it's blocked over 1 billion navigations to malware sites. That's how frequently people are actually going to sites that are malicious. In i9, we built a download manager, but we also added application reputation. So here I am. I'm downloading a video program that I know about. This is something that I trust. Right? This could be QuickTime, this could be iTunes, this could be Zune, this could be Silverlight, Flash, anything. And if it's the one that I know, the one that I trust, I can simply choose Run, and without any other prompts, without any other warnings, I can run it. But what if something went wrong? Right? We all use public Wi-Fi places. It's actually not that hard to take over a public Wi-Fi access point. You don't know what security they have at the coffee shop you go to down the street. You don't know what might have happened. And in those situations, i9 just gives you just enough warning to let you know that, hey, there could be something wrong here. Now, a lot of you may be saying, I'm tech savvy, right? I'm too smart to get fooled by these things. Well, unfortunately, it's not about being smart or being tech savvy, because the people trying to trick you are also very, very smart and very tech savvy. It's about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And i9 is just designed to give you just enough of a warning, just enough of an alert to rethink what you're about to do. OK. Now I'm going to take the last few minutes that I have and show you some examples of what web developers have already done on HTML5, and particularly GPU-powered HTML5. I'm going to start with the killers. So I think everyone here should know the killers. They played here last summer. And for them, their art is very important to them, and not just their music, but the art around their music. It's also their album covers, their performances, and their website. So we went to them before i9 beta, and we gave them i9, and we said, build whatever you like. And they came back with this. And they said, finally, I could build the things that I was only dreaming of before. So what they put together is this 360-degree panorama if you're a fan, you'll notice that each one of these scenes is another cover of their album. So here's the first album, the second one, the third. And each one of these elements in the page gives you a way to interact and look for more information. So here are all their tour dates. I can zoom in here. This is how we learned that they were here last summer. And of course, I can go back. My favorite, though, is this old-style movie screen that kind of takes you up into the sky. Every one of these stars is a different video. This is a good one. And this is high definition, full audio. High definition H.264 video. There are no plugins running here. There's no Flash. There's no Silverlight. This is just running natively in the browser. And so this is the experience that the Killers put together when they were given the power of hardware-accelerated HTML5. Let me show you a couple others. This is an interactive storybook. It's for an old fairy tale, Jack and the Beanstalk. And this design agency said, I want to tell a different story. I want to find a cool, more imaginative way to tell this story to children. And I think one of the cool things you can see is to advance in the story, I use my mouse to scratch the tree here and move to the next scene. So now I have this beautiful, rich experience, again, all running just natively in the browser. Any device that supports HTML5, this will function on. It's all built according to standards. And the last one, another music one. So this is a site designed for KEXP, which is a local radio station in Seattle, which is where I'm from. And it takes all of their playlist data from the past, from their historical data, and visualizes it into this really cool visualization. And you'll see as the album covers actually download, they kind of pop in here. So I can expand, look into each of these and see what content was written, what content was played at each one of these times. Now, of course, my network is going to kill me here. This is kind of my favorite view. So it shows you by DJ. So every one of these DJs, you can see what they play. And of course, since this isn't quite hard enough for the browser, I can turn alpha on the albums, rotate them, scale them, all sorts of kind of little geeky visual goodness here. All right, so that's just a couple of the examples, and I think I'm out of time here, of what people have already done to reimagine the web that they've been building today, or that we've all been using for more than a decade. At i9 beta, we had an A to Z of the web. So we had partners building on pin sites. We really had, of course, more than 26. In fact, we had 70 partners who were building on i9 for the beta. These 70 partners accounted for 2/3 of the active internet users and over 800 million visitors whose web experience just got better on Windows. And with that, I want to encourage you to go to beautyoftheweb.com. All the examples, the killer site, everything is linked off of there. And my purpose in asking you to go check those out is not to say, look how cool this is that someone else built. I want you guys to be inspired. I want it to spark your creativity. I want you to go to that site, look at an example, and say, I could do better than that. And think about what you're going to build and how you're going to make the web better. So, thank you.
Thank you, John. Let's take very few questions, if there are questions for John about Internet Explorer. Let's see, before the break, if you have some questions from the audience, I would kindly ask you to bring the microphones. So,
hello. When we are building a website, we have a huge and tremendous problem making the website to be compatible with all the browsers.
Yes.
What's going to happen when this technology will be online?
Oh, thank you. The work we've done within Internet Explorer 9 and the work that we've done in i9, as well as the work that we're doing together with the other browser makers in the W3C, is entirely meant to solve that problem. And I actually think with IE9, it's a huge step forward in the set of things that you can use that just work exactly the same way across browsers. There will always be differences at the edges. There are new features that are being developed, standards change, browsers have bugs. I completely guarantee that the border radius example I showed where the dotted dashes were different, browsers are going to fix that one. The Z-order index in Chrome, they're just going to go fix that. That's a bug. So it's getting a lot better. Now, that maybe doesn't help you this weekend when you have work to do.
67% of the users are using Explorer and are coming from Google. Almost the same features. I mean, in our measurement, it's coming 67%, 60 to 67%. The problem with the browser is that the customer, we cannot choose them. Actually, we know where the customer are, but from the 60% to 100%, there are 40% of the customers which are not using Explorer. And I was last year to the Google I/O in US.
In May, I was there as well.
Yes, I was there. And the discussion was the same discussion with HTML5.
Yeah.
We think that is the best and the great technology for the next 3-4 years from now on. But the problem is that the feedback from Google, so far I understand from my developers, is not the best one to the other browsers makers. And they cannot adapt their browser. I work with Explorer. That is daily life. But the problem is that...
I didn't pay him to say that, I promise.
Sorry. No, I don't get the money from you today. Next time. The problem is that the customers are coming, and not from Romania, all over the world, and coming and say, you know, my customers are different approach, different kind of customers. Some are using maybe Apple, some are using Opera, some are using Mozilla, and so on. And what we can do, because we cannot make 100% a website to look the same in all browsers.
So I think there are two major things that you can do. The first one is to help the situation get better quicker, is to spend some time helping us fix our problems in all browsers. So every browser releases betas, we release platform previews, and we're always open and we want the bugs, we want the feedback, because we want to fix them as fast as possible. Now that's kind of a, let's work together in the short term. Long term, there's an approach called, there's a different coding approach called feature detection instead of browser detection. And it's one, so for the past week, I've been traveling through Central and Eastern Europe, and for the most part, I've been talking to developers. And I've been talking to them about making sure that they can build websites that work well across all browsers. And today the practice is, if you're running an IE, do this. If you're running a Firefox, do this, et cetera. And then when a new browser comes out, you just have to retest your site again, and something's broken, it's a big pain, right? You can't be excited about new browsers coming out because they're just going to cost you money. Well, there are a series of best practices. I can share some of the links to the resources that we have. We've done talks at Microsoft conferences, blog posts in the IE blog, et cetera. But it's something that we absolutely are working for and working toward the solution as fast as possible. It's why we put so many resources into the standards.